It's time for Portland Wrestling 2000s. Now, here he is, your number one host, Frank Culbertson.
Hey, wrestling fans, it's Frank Culbertson here once again on the Portland Wrestling 2000s YouTube channel. Hey, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single moment of great Portland wrestling action. And while you're at it right now, would you hit that like button? Yeah, I appreciate it. That's great. And what action we have for you tonight. And by we, I mean me and this guy, Mike Rodgers. Mike, great to have you here on Portland Wrestling 2000s once again.
Oh, thank you. It's always fun. I always have a good time.
He says that now. We'll see how he feels at the end of the show. But tonight, we're going to go back to the first ever Portland Wrestling show on the WB. Mike, we just did that amazing tag team match between Luther, now on AEW, and Black Dragon as his partner, versus a very young Bryan Danielson and his partner, Adam Firestorm. If you missed it, you can catch it on this Portland Wrestling 2000s channel, which you won't miss anything if you hit that subscribe button and do it right now. Anyway, at the taping, right before that tag match was the match that we're going to look at tonight. It's teacher versus student as a Tornado Tony Kozina, I'll get that right, takes on his student Damon Scythe. Mike, you joined me on commentary that night, and while you've written extensively regarding the Don Owen era of Portland wrestling, you have covered all the Northwest Indies in Oregon, Washington, California, up into Canada for 30 years in your Ring Around the Northwest newsletter. So you're very familiar with these two individuals. In fact, you might not remember, but you interviewed Tony twice, and both interviews are in here. Excitement in the Air, Volume 3, available on Amazon. And not just Tony, but here are just a few of the other interviews in that volume. Look, there's Tony Bourne, the Grappler, John Rambo, Haru Sasaki, Joey Jackson, Earl Maynard, the Mean Man, Mike Miller, and Frank Dusek. And let me tell you, there's so many more. Fans, it's a must-have. That's Excitement in the Air, Volume 3. But all volumes are a must-have, and all are available on Amazon. So, Mike, let's start with Tony Kozina. Tell us a little about him.
Tony started out being trained by Billy Jack Haynes. He also had some additional training by Matt Bourne and Bart Sawyer, I believe. When Tony started, he was kind of a high flyer. He was definitely a tactician as well. And in that time period, when he started, he was a little small. You know, as time went along, smaller wrestlers got involved, but at that particular time, he was definitely one of the smaller wrestlers around. But he really made up for it with his skill, with his athleticism, and he started having success in a lot of promotions around the Northwest.
And so you mentioned him being trained by Billy Jack Haynes, and we're just about to cover the famous Billy Jack Haynes heel turn in a few days. And fans, it's going to be an insane episode. So, Mike, just give the people a taste of what they're going to see. And well, I'll let you talk about Billy Jack Haynes.
Well, Billy Jack was one of the best baby faces because of his humble nature when he would give interviews. His build and his look obviously helped make him a baby face. And then when he turns, he just does exactly the opposite. The intensity of his interviews are what makes it seem very, very real. Like Billy's on the edge of really going off the deep end. And everything looks very, very real. And he was a very good baby face, and perhaps he was an even better heel.
And so, fans, that's the next episode here in a couple of days on the Portland Wrestling 2000s channel. Did I mention to subscribe and like this yet? I think I did. Anyway, let's talk about his opponent tonight, Damon Scythe.
Damon was a really good wrestler, a little bit bigger than Tony. But he had that heel look about him, long hair. At times he would wear a mask. A little bit greasy looking. Sorry, Damon. But that makes him a great candidate to be a heel. He had a move for his finisher that was very unique. And if I remember right, it was a double underhook type pile driver maneuver. And most of those you do with your opponent's stomach in your stomach. And if I remember right, Damon turned them around so the opponent's back was on his stomach in a double underhook, and it looked great. I sometimes chided Damon if that was safe or not, if he was being, careful. It looked like somebody was going to get hurt.
Oh, that's a great pro wrestling move. And I mentioned that it's a teacher versus a student match. And Mike, that's a traditional pro wrestling gimmick. Is there a typical scenario how this sort of storyline gimmick plays out?
There's a lot of ways they can go, but traditionally, as we look at this type of an angle, a lot of times the teacher might win the first, and the student gets a little frustrated, still grateful. If they have a second match, maybe it's a little bit closer. Teacher still maybe gets by with the second one. And then if they have if it's a series of matches and if they have the third one, you're liable to see that student turn on the teacher.
Oh, and well, we're only going to get to see the first match here, but it's a great match, and fans are going to really enjoy this. Let's go to that match. It's Damon Scythe versus the teacher, Tony Kozina.
Great matchup in the ring tonight. Mike Rodgers, Tornado Tony Kozina against Damon Scythe. This is going to be a great matchup. This is a student-teacher matchup. There's a go-behind by Damon Scythe. Tony Kozina is teaching wrestling school. Damon Scythe has been a student of his for over 3 years. This should be a great matchup.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see if the student knows more now than the teacher, or if the teacher's held back a little bit.
Tony Kozina has been a champion in a number of places. He has been NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion twice, NWA Canadian Junior Heavyweight Champion twice, a Pacific Northwest Junior Heavyweight Champion 6 different times. Fans, if you're looking for another champion, go out to 1-800-OWN-A-CAR, or Wrestling in the Ring right now, the 1-800-OWN-A-CAR ring. Proud sponsors here on Portland Wrestling. Tony Kozina with the armbar. Damon Scythe backs him in, whips him into the ropes off. He goes for the big boot and misses. Clothesline, no, it turned into an arm drag takedown. A great reversal, an offensive move by Tony Kozina when it looked like he was going to get hit with a vicious clothesline.
Oh, and Damon Scythe has a big knowledge of martial arts. And he is so much improved. He is one of the most improved wrestlers in the Northwest. So this match is going to be very exciting.
Damon Scythe a little bit taller than Tony Kozina, so Tony taking him down, neutralizing some of that size advantage. You can see he's working on an arm bar there. Now he's driving a knee into the back of the shoulder, weakening his opponent. Damon Scythe very efficient with his legs and feet and with his arms and his martial arts. Tony Kozina trying to take that away. As I mentioned, Tony Kozina is a teacher, but Mike, he himself had some pretty good teachers.
Oh, absolutely. He was trained by Matt Bourne and Billy Jack Haynes, 2 men who really knew their way around the ring.
That's right, and Tony Kozina now with arm drags taking Damon Scythe down, controlling the match. Tony Kozina started out his career as a flyer, but you can see he has really worked lately on mat wrestling, on submission moves. Tony Kozina, another champion. I'm telling you, every week, champion after champion after champion in every single match right here on Portland Wrestling. Though we're the best, the biggest, and definitely some of the baddest men in professional wrestling here each and every Saturday night. Tony Kozina, Damon Scythe goes in, nobody home. Tony Kozina down with a sort of a power bomb by Damon Scythe. Not exactly a scientific move. I'm not sure Tony is in favor of that. He drives a knee into the back. I thought we'd have a full scientific match. There's a 2 count. Referee for this match, Dan Adams, coming down from Seattle, Washington. A terrific third man in the ring. Damon Scythe breaking the rules with him in. Tony Kozina hit awfully hard.
That was a hard whip into the ropes.
I am sure there's a 2 count. Student and teacher are going to be having a conversation about this after this match happens. Fans, this match coming to you from Rent-A-Own Auto, from our good friends out at Rent-A-Own. Rent-A-Own Auto, everyone with a driver's license is approved for only $49 a week. A deal you can't beat. There's a 2 count, almost a 3. Tony Kozina, knowing where he is in the ring, being the veteran that he is, gets his foot on the rope and breaks a hold. There's a hook to the leg. Damon Scythe goes quick for a 2 count, but he's going to have to weaken Tony Kozina up a little bit more. Mike, terrific action like this each and every Saturday night. WB 32, Portland Wrestling, 11 o'clock. Tonight we have Ed Moretti appearing later in the card against another newcomer from Portland Wrestling, Robbie Lance. Should be a great one. Also Adam Firestorm, a backbreaker. Adam Firestorm from Auckland, New Zealand. Sorry about that. Now he's Damon Scythe going for a scorpion type hold. This is a submission move. He's really leaning back, bending the back of Tony Kozina. Tony's saying he's not going to give up. Referee Dan Adams checking, see if he will. Damon Scythe being hooked. He's got him really locked in. Tony Kozina makes it to the rope to break the hold. Damon Scythe has him up, belly to back suplex. No, it's reversed by Tony Kozina. There's a roll up. 1, 2 2 3/4. What a great move by Tony Kozina.
This is a fast action-paced match, Frank.
Spinning clothesline. You don't see that very often. Damon Scythe has perfected that move. Martial arts, his quickness really catches Tony Kozina off guard. Fans, again, it was great to have Tom Peterson and Glorious 2 as a traditional wrestling sponsor here in Portland Wrestling. Tom Peterson and Glorious 2 out 82nd Foster Road. Be sure to go out and visit. Tony Kozina into the ropes. Damon Scythe, nobody home. He rolls him up. There's a pin. 1, 2 3/4 once again. I don't know how much closer you can get. Damon Scythe now back in control, firing left. Tony Kozina whips it. Damon Scythe goes up, fly across body block, and roll through. There's a hook to the leg. 1, 2, 3. It is all over.
Tony Kozina comes up with a big win.
Tony Kozina, the teacher, the master, has one over his student. You know, you can think you know everything of what the teacher has. Tony Kozina's held a little in reserve. Showed it right there. Damon Scythe, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Tony Kozina, your winner.
Handshake there. That's nice to see. Nice to see some scientific wrestling for a change.
Fans, will be right back after a match. Word from our sponsor.
Well, that was a really solid wrestling match. And Mike, your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, I think they work well together. You know, they've trained together, and you could see they both showed athleticism in that match, and I think that was a really good. You know, it had an angle behind it a little bit, and I thought it was a really solid match.
Well, it was, and it was such a fun time doing pro wrestling or Portland wrestling at the WB, and sitting there with commentary with you. It was always a great time. And speaking of fun, be sure to subscribe to this One Match Wonders on Spotify or Apple. Guys who had just one match at the Portland Sports Arena are in this series. So do me a favor, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and give us 4 minutes and learn who these One Match Wonders are. Available on Spotify or Apple. Well, that's all the time we have for now, Mike. Thanks for joining me once again. As we say, this is wrestling the way it should be.